A German shepherd clung to a branch in the raging floodwater, its desperate whimpers barely audible over the roar. Downstream, a man was trapped beneath a fallen tree, water rising to his chin. At a cabin miles away, an elderly man with clouded eyes sensed something terrible. His son was dying, and the dog was the only one who could save him. This wasn't the first time Jake Brennan had watched someone he loved disappear into darkness. Afghanistan had taught him that lesson with brutal efficiency. But what happened next would prove that some bonds between man and dog, father and son, are stronger than any flood, stronger than war, stronger even than the slow theft of memory itself. Because 3 years ago, the VA had given Jake a German shepherd named Scout. What they hadn't told him was that they'd met before in a valley far away where both had learned that survival meant saving each other. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments, along with the city you're watching from now. Let's continue with the story. Jake Brennan had come to value his existence through fleeting instances of peace. Approaching 50, his palms stayed firm for molding lumber into graceful designs, although they shook subtly at the boom of nearby lightning or the crack of a vehicle exhaust echoing from afar. His remote dwelling rested along the border of what residents termed Forbidden Valley, a label that appeared mythical until the land's harsh features revealed themselves. Sheer gorge sides, a solitary overpass, and an unpredictable brook capable of lethal fury amid the thaw. On this dawn towards summer's start, beams pierced the lofty firs encircling his crafting area, drawing extended outlines over the incomplete cradle atop his station. The timber hailed from regional evergreens, amber-shaded and aromatic, requested by a fresh pair in the hamlet, anticipating their newborn. Jake had assembled 17 similar items across recent seasons, all impeccable, each a humble feat of invention demonstrating his grasp could yet forge wonder after years honed for demolition. He'd operated as an elite soldier previously. Tours in distant sands from 2009 until 2011, service that gleamed on records yet pressed like weights upon his spirit eternally. 6 companions from his group failed to return from that concluding outing. A concealed blast in arid soil beyond Kandahar guaranteed it. Jake endured bearing a valor emblem, a sporadic stagger that flared with climate shifts, and remorse no decoration could lift. Their visages invaded his slumbers frequently, notably Captain Marcus Chen, merely 26, and betrothed to a lady in the sunny west, dispatching bundles brimming with illustrated tales and preserved meats. However, the strife hadn't ceased all immediately. The conclusive robbery arrived 7 years hence, in 2018, upon a wet roadway past Denver. Emily, his companion through 12 unions. Lily, their young child of 6 with her spaced grin and passion for prehistoric creatures, erased in the blink as an impaired operator swerved over the median. Jake resided hours distant then, within a recovery hub for emotional scars, at last pursuing relief, aiming to embody the mate and guardian they merited. The officer's notification disrupted him amid collective counsel, addressing Endurance's burden. Destiny, evidently, wielded a savage wit. The sanctuary stemmed from Emily's vision, outlined on tissues amid their betrothal. A retreat among elevations to foster Lily distant from uproars and masses provoking Jake's shivers. Post their departure, he erected it anyhow, partly honoring her pledge, chiefly to fade into a barrenness mirroring his internal void. Pinewood, Colorado, counting 1847 inhabitants, seemed the perfect oblivion. Isolated sufficiently to evade inquisitions, proximate to society for necessities' sun's overload of contacts. Their dawn trek had transformed into a hallowed practice, the singular oath Jake maintained with devout zeal for self and Scout. Sunrise at precisely 6, heedless of elements or prior rest's caliber, they pursued the identical route, meandering amid rearward conifers, a duo of miles encircling to a vista unveiling 3 chasms, uniting like channels of boulder and greenery. Scout perpetually pioneered, his dark and amber hide capturing nascent rays, senses keen to woodland's offerings. Jake pursued, thankful for the framework, the advancement, the company of a vital entity demanding his attendance. This trek bore an odd essence. The breeze hummed with pre-tempest spark, and the rivulet that usually murmured beside the path's side thundered with rare might, bloated from hasty ice dissolution, afflicting the peaks for weeks. Announcers had alerted persistently, unusual heat blending with profuse seasonal downpours, summits discarding frosty loads hastily, basins beneath girding for repercussions. Jake registered it with the remote caution of one schooled against needless alarm, his refuge perched adequately lofty. The hollow below would immerse ere his entry met moisture. Scout paused sharply midway, snout pivoting northward toward the wilds dubbed Forbidden Valley. His oracles sharpened, form immobilizing in the fashion denoting vital detection. Jake had grown to depend on these instances wholly. Scout's intuitions had retrieved him from brinks innumerable, foreseeing distress bouts ere Jake sensed, arousing from horror's pre-aggression, detecting shadow's proximity necessitating aid. "What's alerted you, friend?" Jake queried, palm naturally descending to Scout's summit, detecting rigidity in the animal's pose. Scout elevated those shrewd chestnut orbs to Jake, then redirected to the barred region, then reverted. An evident communique issue present. Examine. Essential awareness. Bypassing consent, Scout diverged from the lane, advancing through foliage with determination. Jake delayed briefly ere trailing. Across their triple years united, Scout never misguided. The beast held superior insight than numerous individuals Jake encountered. Assuredly wiser than Jake's self-view. They traversed a brief segment of compact firs and prickly bushes, Scout steering with the surety of a being chasing aroma or tone beyond human grasp. The landscape toughened, descending toward the hollow, earning its foreboding title via records of sudden torrents and fickle climates. Alerts affixed to barks at intervals: peril, submersion region, entry barred, sans approval, volatile ground. Jake had observed these notices formally, yet lacked cause to disregard. The basin beneath radiated a wild splendor. Towering barriers, venerable groves, and a flow sculpting through bedrock akin to an artisan across ages. It concealed authentic hazards, vulnerable to abrupt swells ensnaring the imprudent in the tight passage during rises. An adolescent succumbed there 10 years prior, overtaken by an instant deluge morphing the calm current into a raging beast within quarter hour. Officials had since curtailed passage, though Jake presumed explorers still braved despite cautions. The odor preceded the spectacle: newly hewn timber, cuttings and resin, combustibles and lubricants. Then auditory arrived, the remote buzz of blades, the fracture and crash of a shaft yielding. Scout rumbled deeply within, a noise Jake seldom heard, reserved for true menace. They proceeded cautiously until the origin revealed via foliage breach. Beneath, approximately 300 strides downhill, figures labored with factory precision. A harvest endeavor, equipped with modest digger, hauler burdened with severed logs, and trio manipulating tools against ancient evergreens. This surpassed precise extraction or ethical woodland care. It was total annihilation, methodical erasure of stands enduring centuries. The ruin, vast, a span equaling dual athletic grounds, now stubs and littered remnants. Alarmingly, they targeted stream-adjacent, excising the exact stabilizers whose subterranean webs secured precipitous inclines. Jake's strategic acumen swiftly discerned outcomes. These colossi were stabilizers, their undergrowth lattice restraining immense soil against liquid and pull. Excise them, notably near inflated flow amid thaw, and you'd crafted a primed weapon targeting downstreamers. A soul deluge, a fluid rush, and the flank would yield. Ensuing overflow exceeded mere liquid, a sludge of earth, fragments, wreckage bearing locomotive power. Jake withdrew his communicator from outerwear, digits stable despite surging vitality. This transgression demanded confrontation, the variety that would disturb his repose if evaded. He'd retreated from excess already, ties, fellowship, the chance of relevance modestly. Yet this tangible, manageable, unlawful extraction on guarded communal terrain, destined to claim existences unless ceased. He enlarged view, seizing sharp depictions of endeavor, haulers' identifier, laborers' countenances, machinery's labels, methodical incline ruin, each capture-proof, each sealing the fate for scheme's orchestrators. Scout leaned to his limb, persisting, alert, vigilant. The animal's senses proclaimed hazard, and Jake commenced grasping the reason. Twig fractures echoed rearward. Jake pivoted reflexively, interposing self betwixt Scout and disturbance. Vintage drills resurfacing post-years. A figure materialized from growth. A male mid-50s, features scarred by weather and orbs bearing the rigid edge of one endured overmuch to dread additional. Accompanied by duo youths, both bearing the effortless intimidation of brawl accustomed. Afternoon, the senior voiced, inflection bearing Highland's even tone, eras of peak dwelling condensed in sounds. Strayed, acquaintance, Jake erect, sharply sensing Scout's intensifying rumble adjacent, simply roaming. Unaware of activities below, personal agreement, oversight endorsed. The deception flowed seamlessly, honed. The male's sight shifted to Jake's device. Trust scenery captures solely. Indeed, my focus, Jake retorted, sustaining the stare composedly. Conflicts imparted skills, including threat discernment and serenity projection amid magnificent terrain. Sorrow if damage occurred. The senior's look unaltered, yet carriage adjusted minutely. A tightening readiness Jake identified from myriad outpost interactions in settlements armed universally, reliance scarce. Frankly, acquaintance. Below sighting? Irrelevant to you. A peer type, appreciating personal boundaries. Likewise, type discerning ethics from iniquity, Jake responded mildly. Conserve domain. Your efforts will compromise that full rise. When surges arrive, they shall downstream lives end. A youth advanced. Maybe overlooked. The senior palmed halt. Focus, Jake, fixed. Service background, formally, suspected, bearing evident. Desert, peaks, Afghanistan. Pertinence? Possibly. Implies grasp of concession. Comprehending necessities despite difficulty, despite miscomprehension. The male's timbre now threaded with urgency beneath rigidity. Something bare and scarred. Aridity claimed my holdings 2019. Quartet lineages, 60 plots, vanished. Institutions claimed. Partner fell to ailments same period. Remedies unattainable. My lad avoids me. Comprehend such devastation's toll, Jake comprehended. Mercy, he comprehended precisely devastation's excavation, rendering form least attire, yet recognized suffering unlicensed for havoc. Lament your adversities, sincerely. Yet this, he indicated chasmward, no remedy. The male's trait set. Remedies unknown to you, warrior. Merely command following and censuring those sands your elevated stance. Elevated stance? Jake detected interior split, rift in guarded equilibrium. Forfeited full team to detonation. 7 existences superior to mine. Forfeited mate and offspring amid sanity pursuit in center. Withhold discourses on adversity or advantage. Ensuing quietude total, except remote tool hum and Scout sustained warning. The senior's countenance transformed, kinship glint traversing. Thus you grasp void. Grasp depletion where misdeed scarcely registers, damnation preordained. Grasp, Jake confirmed, timbre softer, bearing acquired insights mass. Grasp fragmentation universal, yet fragmentation unlicensed for further fragmenting. Baron myself till him. He downward glance scout, firm, tangible adjacent. Entity shielding, requiring me equaling my requirement. The male evaluated prolonged, then headshook gradually. Day to dismiss sighting. Vet courtesy. Post, he neared. Jake perceiving resolute conviction, ocular, your location known. That elder accompanied relation, presume, and hound. Lamentable if incident amid your disruption for bereft. Menace suspended misty. Scout's rumble heightened, Jake sensing canine's tension palm beneath, assault ready if called. Yet assault unresolved, predicament, sans pristine resolution. Authorities contacting, Jake mild. Presently. No day delay, no erasure. Male's look solidified chill conclusiveness. Positions evident then. He to crew. Resume labors. Vanished foliage abrupt as arrival, Jake rise. Remaining scout anchoring, violation-proof device, stored. Jake Lodge returns scout heel close. Canine's typical scouting supplanted by proximate guard. Warning explicit, scout discerned equaling Jake. Beasts deciphered mortal aims transcending verbiage, attuning aggression. Spite subtle resonances beneath utterances. Threshold crossed, Jake's core pounded exertion, absent, intricate fury, dread mix and years, absent sensation, pressing safeguard beyond personal. Art galley, present entry, counter station perplexed, vessel gripped, brew apparatus, gazed as extraterrestrial relic. Dawn commenced favorably, comparatively. Art breakfast, recalled Jake's title, coherent angling tale from Jake's dozen years, yet hours mere mist re-entered. Dad's look bore acquainted emptiness, Jake recognized. Fellow's dilemma owns space, encircled items functions momentarily obliterated recall. Dad, Jake tender, side approaching. Permit assistance. Art pivoted, Jake's features scrutinized fervent, stranger, claiming closeness placement attempt. Brewing beverage. Or was. Aroma indicates existence. Prior preparation. Your container. Chilled, likely. Reheat. Appreciated. Art's grip eased, generous you. Acquainted. Query impacted, customary minor, Jake interior blast. Jake, Dad. Offspring. Ah. Art's expression cycled confusion, skepticism, familiarity, spark authentic or aspirational. Jake, certainly. Regrets, lad. Hazy face. Fine, Dad. No apologies. Jake claimed vessel. Discarded cool carafe refilled. Scout art flanked. Form elder legs. Leaning customary. Tangible anchor cognition. Unstable. Art's digits instinctive. Scout crown descended. Digits dense coat weaving. Jake observing Dad's frame. Rigidity drain. This beast. Art inward more than Jake. Persists recall. Others fade. Reason? Jake similar pondered. Art's harshest, unable residents recall, or lifelong partner's title departed years, yet scout known, animal greeted warmth knowing. Expert explains sentimental paths distinct, factual, emotion forged links enduring dissolution else. Jake simpler believed, scout constant, dependable, unaltered. Daily identical, fidelity identical, comforting solidity identical. Eluding realm, scout persisted. Scout he, Jake eventual. Scout, unaltered. Wise creature, Art whispered, caress continuing. Fine creature. Combat-based, correct? Gate evident. Vigilance. Jake rigid, carafe held. Prompts assertion. Platoon canines. Asia 7071. Shepherd's primary. Special carriage. Alert, perpetual, prepared. This matches. Mark similar hours, fragments, projectiles, field. Art's gaze distant, half-century locked. Trainer, Jimmy Dotto, known. Partner, intercepted, destined hit. Existence preserved. Jimmy sobbed recovery. Cherished beyond spousal for some. Narrative, Jake draped blanket-like, gentle, substantial, accumulating. Art discarded near all nowadays. Dawn consumption, era, unrealized descendants titles, Lily premature, departed. Yet reminiscence, pristine half-century handler echo, flawless, emerged. Psyche, enigmatic realm, preservation release per self-logic. Yes, Dad, Jake gentle. Exceptional companions are exceptional. Reheated presented, Dad pain preferred spot, shuffled observed, scout extension trailing. Canine stationed remain, Jake aware, elder vigil, till diversion. Scout's role, instilled pre-Jake encounter. Observe, defend, react. Drive beyond drills, scout structure embedded. Jake device, extracted, harvest captures, navigated. Visuals, stark, condemning. Rampant annihilation, legitimate woodland mistake, impossible. Plunder resembled, desperation, avarice, blend-driven, repercussions ignored past swift yield. Alert, essential today. Contact outpost, located, connected, galley strided ringing. Female third ring responded, efficient strained. Peaks oversight. Mitchell Ranger. Greeting. Unauthorized wood removal report secured grounds, forbidden vicinity. Visuals, location data tags. Kamsa, identity whereabouts start. Jake Brennan. Wildwood residence, miles pair east, forbidden access. Hound walk morn, stripping discovery. Vast, flow adjacent. Thor precip, flank failure imminent. Overflow, disastrous. Beat, clacks. Images station transmit, log dispatch evaluators. Deployment swift. Crew intimidated discovery. Linger absent if exposure sensed. Forecasts, tempests eve. Deluge added saturation. Gorge calamity primed. Alarm noted. Brennan. Priority mark. Outpost afternoon statement formal 3. Timepiece glanced hours 6. Sooner essential. Location known. Menaced dad aid animal. Comprehend exceeds poaching. Safety public, household urgent. Silence extended. Mitchell resumed. Inflection administrative to person invested. Threats direct. Affirmative. Day dismiss or harm, kin companion specified. All right, Brennan, serious. Midday earliest. Submersion aid, opposite preserve handling, midday residence. To you. Meanwhile, data forward shots accounts. If peril imminent, emergency dial. No wait. Midday, present. Electronics supplied, concluded, files dispatched site, endeavor confrontations thorough. Senior's countenance, memory etched, orbs desperation assurance, fusion extremes, capable. Forenoon remainder heightened, familiar, uncomfortable. Vigilance, deployment, lived. Ceaseless, subtle, hazards, scouting perpetual, eruption, anticipating. Openings surveyed recurrent, latches secured, approach unknown, rides monitored. Scout tension, absorbed. Art post abandoned, Jake shadow, orbs astute observing cues awaiting. 11:30, masses westward summits, amassed, formations vowing turmoil. Jake, galley view positioned, advance observed, disquiet, growing. Forecasters days, predicted. Lingering vernal disturbance volumes drench soil dumping. Hasty thaw, atypical heat paired, inundation recipe normal. Yet incline compromised, stabilizers excised, communicator vibrated. Unfamiliar, ultimate opportunity, warrior. Disengage. Features set. Screen captured, Mitchell relayed note, persist intimidations. Origin barred, efficacy doubting. Intimidators numbers, barred cease, not. Cease, desires, attained or compelled. Art galley threshold materialized, scout flanking. Momentarily dad attuned wholly, gaze sharp intent. Brewing issue, artifact, minor matter complication dad. Concern needless. Memory falters son, foolishness, sightlessness not. Art view advanced, Jake aligned, Gale gathering eyed. Posture, watchfulness, evident. Strife, preparedness. Recognize, post-return years worn. Level, strife kind. Jake evasion pondered. Art stance, firmness, profound enduring. Risen, Alzheimer's unreached segment. Dad soldiered. Dilemmas perilous figures own faced, perhaps fathom above. Discovered, unintended. Unlawful harvest flood trigger lives, endangering. Officials alerted, operators disapprove alert. Warnings issued. Art digested, measured, nod. Fallout awaiting. Essentially. Ranger midday testimony. Post, enforcers manage, vanish justice fitting. Afternoon bypass, now resolve opt. Notion. Jake direct, avoided. Training per address. You hound, Art Scout glanced, synergy observed. Reliance. Beyond, keeper pet. Comrades. Strife comrades. Exceptional dad. Beyond. Art pain diverted, Jake pinned lucid startling. Aged mind losing, useless not. Approaches whatever, solo not. Hound oldster, yours. Harmbar will. Jake torso surge, sorrow thankfulness blend. Dad's lucid treasures fleeting valued, clutched erosion, inevitable shield, as aware dad, grateful. Conveyance gravel approach sound attentions drew. Scout entry stationed immediate, frame rigid rumble building. Chronometer consulted. Quarter noon premature, Mitchell expedited perhaps. Portal neared, adjacent pane peered, innards sank. Ranger not. Obstructing rig harvest matched grime oil mart, labourer harsh weathered. Trio disembarked, senior prior duo. Deliberate progressed, fanning marginal. Formation instinctive, recognized. Harvesters transcended. Clash understanding men, arrayed dominate curb. Dad, quarters retreat, Jake whisper, advances eyes fixed. Scout bring, barrier seal, Jake, immediate dad please, debate margin, none. Unfold whatever, Art Scout jeopardy, direct removed. Strategize, react worried, Dadhound crossfire couldn't. Art momentary lingered, arm gripped brief volumes, conveyed, Scout summoned corridor, withdrew. Chamber seal latch, heard, front unsealed veranda emerged. Entry ajar minute, fallback essential, evasion improbable suspected. Senior 15 paces halted, aids bracketing. Illumination clearer, features furrows profound discerned, whiskers silver threaded, exhaustion burdens overbearing. Hardness persisted, choice sealed slamming finality. Accord assumed, man voiced. Calm, casual unsettling over bellows. Hours disengage. Grant couldn't. Disclose stated. Commitments honor. Principles, uprightness, forces ethos. Mouth twisted faint. Code bearers reality, enlighten, warrior. Forfeit. All forfeit, norms adhering others disregard. Code absent souls? Jake queried. Kin menace, realms ravage guarded, despise claim become. Youth edged. Gramps listen. Senior halt, gestured. Dale call Marmac, merit knowing. Rationale O progression pre. Rationale unwanted. Grounds vacate. Oblige can't. Dawn elected issue. Resolution demand. Orbs dull void. Holdings partner shared. Omitted gorge now forbidden. Call Marmac holdings formally. Ancestor 1887 claimed. Lines: fore dirt toiled, stock herded, feed cultivated, existence forged. Regime part deemed. Acquisition forced, recompense fair labelled unjust, insufficient, forbear resentful perished. Jake heeded. Comprehension dawning. Illicit harvest surpassed, heritage pilfered, rancor ancestral, sole property seized, reclaiming cost regardless. Aridity forfeiture post. Ailment. Alice unaffordable, lad flop projecting, inflection marginal fracture. Reclamation resolved. Regime kin soil pilfered. Institutions holdings claimed. Disease love took. Stands predated protection generations. Inheritance retrieving. Obliteration via J-cutted, bear stripping, rise eroding. Snare lethal downstreamers converting. Mine retrieving, retort jagged harsh. Judgmental posture. Need where you? Anyone? Aid petitioned, Bureau's ag, vet, supports every. Paperwork queues, pitying aid denials. Betrayed framework, warrior. Dictates discarded. Jake rationale comprehended, Dale abyss, navigation. Akin ledges teetered, abyss, peered, plunge endurance, eased pondering. Distinction. Scout. Anchored, persisted, insisted, strived, existed, impossible, seemed. Dale such lacked. All forfeited, forfeiture, self-lost. Regretful, sincere expressed. System abandoned regret. Partner loss regret. Boy estrangement regret. But Dale, reclamation illusion. Ruin propagating. Rise innocence claim. Claim let, blank intoned. Alice perished as, cherished faded as. Nameless below concern why, me none concerned. Humanity, monstrosity over. Fracture amid concern. Fracture particularly. Dale prolonged, scrutinized, gaze behind flicker. Kinship remorse. Congealed anew. Verdict reaffirmed. Rangers contacted. Aware. Our pre-gorge arrival affords. Vanish must, evidence with. Device captures. Juniors closed. Frame innate, reacted. Drills ingrained cognition, superseding. Balance, adjusted. Base, broadened. Senses trio track expanded. Scout indoors yapped wild, threat sensed, respond, yearned, barrier prevented. Avoid, Jade caution, tone battle serenity dipping. Incarceration harvest already. Violence graver append, liberty eternal forfeit. Conclusion fitting, awaits nothing, replied. Confinement vacancy indistinguishable. Path this, dictate I, control lingers. Saddest hearing Jake's long. Soul ruin. Capitulation utter. All incinerate readiness, incineration authority soul remaining. Brink near Jake, release alluring ease grasped, descent yield, yet retrieved. Entity self-clutch, failed clutched. Boy remains, urged. Mend viable, this, post not, clarified boy. Hurt, enraged, kin yet. Forfeiture, familial comprehend, Dale. Irrevocable. Yours reversible, unforgivable act, permanent, render avoid. Momentarily penetration believed. Look wavered, vulnerability armor piercing, youth interjected. Dale, ticks clock, rangers imminent. Act, instant, shattered. Features sealed, gradual ascent. Valid. Rig secure. Senior Hound 2, gorge transport. Surge conclude. Traces none, testifiers none, mishap mere. Alerts gorge perilous affirmed. Cognition scenarios raced, probabilities, trio, solo versus, fresher his near 50. Equipped likely, wastes outlines per. Art scout chamber secured, scout frenzied, exit trying, Jake reach. Barrier breached, charge scout, fire these. Decisions. Jake's perishing scout unbearable notion. Exclude, implored. Dad memory impaired. Risk, no, animal mere. Claim must, if, spare. Chance can't. Effective sans narrators survivors. Youth portal neared. Obstruct shifted, motion ignited. Lateral other lunged, midsection encircling. Balustrade propelled both. Force under timber fractured. Pivoted torso elbow jammed, expulsion gratifying heard. Drills. Bicycle-like, resurfaced, dormant ready. Disengaged, footing regained, initial strike parried erratic. Dale mobilized, belt extracting, firearm sheen spotted. Reality combat's eerie deceleration. Details amplified pivotal. Targeted, not Jake. Barrier. Scout yapped desperate where. Beast restrain or panel projectile, commanded. Immobilized. Scout cease. Hush Scout. Yapping halted, lumber raking nails detected, passage frantic. Don't. Beg, don't. Rig board. Comply. Beast endures perhaps. Options good. None. Oppose. Scout. Terminates Dale. Yield. Surge amid gorge consigned trio. Tactical paths cycled, leverage seeking, aperture, all salvation. Occasionally none. Loss, tolerable, select merely. Dad farewell permit, requested. Comprehends secure, remain ensure. Confuses he. Vanish abrupt, seek heal. Gale wander. Perish. Pondered, concurred. 60 ticks. Brennan. Foolishness. Hound first, senior then. Clear, affirmed. Portal advanced, deliberate, unsealed, entered. Art passage, stationed, alarmed, irresolute, hearth tool armament wielding. Scout adjacent, quivering assault, urge, discipline thread, fragile restrained. Dad breathed, external ears aware, heed precise. Interior remain. Entry secure. Sounds ignore external. Seizing you. Art's orbs lucid, crisis mist slicing. Yes. Secure you, Scout. Ranger midday. Arrival upon, relay all. Forbidden Valley transport convey, retain. Forbidden Valley, echoed. Retained. Excellent. Resilient B, Dad. More once. Vietnam resilience as. Capable. Erect, momentarily warrior Dad glimpsed, conflict, personal survivor, spouse departure, post-solo rearing. Elapsed time. External summoned. Proceed, Brennan. Scout regarded, orbs intellect allegiance brimming. Guard, lad. Remain, Dad, safeguard. Mission now, comprehend. Keen distress emitted, settled yet, obedience instincts, warring. Rig cargo chilled, iron corrugated corrosion, etched, wrists rear restrained, bindings gouging jolt, each degraded trail. Juniors flanked, armaments displayed, scatter side opposition fatal. Senior piloted, rearward glance sporadic, Jake monitored caution, trapped, peril aware. Gale morn teased vows fulfilled. Droplets scattered initial, cascade, relentless escalating drumming canopy, sight watery veils reduced. Booms heights echoed, profound echoing, frame each auxiliary pulse like sensed. Forecasters accurate. Severity. 15 traversed, rig decelerated, harsher lane veered descending gorgeward. Aft glass smeared via, surveyed canyon morning, descending discerned, forbidden, flanks sheer egress sole hours prior afoot, traversed span. Surge, amid escape soul slated elimination. Glade stream proximate halted. Levels ascended dramatic, what gentle now turbulent Mocha maelstrom upstream refuse ferrying. Motor ceased, disembarked, aids ensuing. Hold extracted, toppled nearly, limbs chill, transit rigid, equilibrium hampered bound. Operational thus, elevated precipitation flowed in over. Linger. Ascend we, crossing, eliminate, elements resolve permit. Alert inundation, active